Hey everybody. So it's I Wonder Wednesday, and first of all, I apologize for not having one last week. The plan was to do an I Wonder Wednesday every Wednesday of this year, but last Wednesday I still had the crud, and to be honest, I couldn't get through 5 minutes without blowing snot sickles, and you guys just didn't need that. So I said, you know what, it'll wait. Anyway, we're picking up today though, and this week's question is, I wonder why you always have a cup with you strapped to your chest? And that's a great question. So I figured it's fair. At least somebody asked me that instead of just wondering and trying to figure out on their own. I'm always open for people to ask questions, and as long as they're reasonable, I'm going to answer because I think that's fair. So, why do I always have a cup? Well, first of all, I just can't carry one in my hand, and most people these days carry around water bottles or cups or whatnot. But since I can't do that, I have to have a way to secure it. I definitely don't want to just sit a drink down on my computer, which I almost always have with me, and you can't really see it in this video at the moment because of the position of the camera, but I do have my computer here in front of me. And I have had a few near misses with almost spilling things. Don't want to do that. So having the drink, it's almost always water or coffee, like 99% of the time. These days it's water. And that leads to the second part of the why I'm always carrying a drink with me. So for many, many, many years, 40 plus years, I'm just going to be real with y'all. In the disabled community, there is something called PMAF, and that is where you have to be careful about how much fluid you're drinking throughout the day because you have to time your bathroom breaks at times when caregivers can be there to help you. And after a while, the easiest thing to do is to just restrict your fluid intake. And for a little while, that's okay. Everybody has to do that from time to time. But if you have to do that chronically for most of your life, eventually things are going to start to happen. And in my case, the something that started to happen was that I started developing kidney stones. And that is no fun. Anybody who's ever had a kidney stone knows that it's one of the most painful things that can ever happen. I've even heard women say that they would rather give birth to their children unmedicated rather than have a kidney stone because they've had both and they know which one's worse. So, I can't attest to that because I've never been in the one case, but I definitely know that it's extremely painful and don't want to go through it again. So in 2023, I was faced with yet another bout of kidney stones, and the main issue was not being able to drink enough water to hydrate properly. So what I opted to do was to have something called a suprapubic catheter installed. So yes, we're talking about pee again. Just got to be real. But basically, it's where they surgically make a hole in your belly, in your abdomen, and then you have a catheter through the front of your belly into your bladder. And it was a quick procedure. I wouldn't say that it was an easy, complete recovery. It was about 8 weeks before I really felt much like myself at all. It was not comfortable, but it certainly wasn't a major, major surgery either. It was just a procedure that needed to be done. And I was immediately able to begin drinking as much water as I wanted or needed to. So for about a year and a half now, I have needed to stay hydrated. I have had no further bouts with kidney stones, thank the Lord. So that's amazing. But it's just important to take care of your body in whatever way that you can. And restricting my fluid intake on a regular basis was not good for me. So I had to make this decision. I'm not a fan of, having a hole drilled into my belly where God didn't put one. But I'm also not a fan of damaging my bladder or my kidneys. And in the end, you make the best decision that you can with the facts that are before you, and you do what you need to do. And fortunately, the technology is there to be able to allow it. Is it what I would have preferred? Well, no, probably not. It's not something I would have opted to do just for kicks and giggles. But am I glad that I did it? Probably so. It's really nice to be able to go out to a restaurant and order water and not have to worry about when you're going to be able to get to the bathroom. It's also a lot easier on caregivers. I'm fortunate that Tim never complains, but it's definitely a lot easier for him as well than for both of us to have to take an hour to an hour and a half just to let me go to the bathroom to pee for 30 seconds. That's kind of how it works, right? But it takes that long to get me in and out of the chair. And so, sorry if this is TMI, but the purpose of this channel and for these videos is just to be honest and to share and to educate and hopefully to even maybe make some of you aware of options that are available if you have yourself or a family member that may be dealing with a similar situation. There are options available, and this was the one that I chose. So, those are the reasons that I always have water strapped to my chest so I can drink throughout the day. So, there you go. That's this week's I Wonder Wednesday. Have a great day. Bye, y'all.